In the 6th episode of Season 2 of House the Dragon, we are treated to a somewhat contentious meeting of the small council headed up by Aemond. Angry at the Lord Lannister for delaying his army's march to Harrenhal in order to be reinforced by he and Vhagar in the event of a dragon attack by the Greens, Aemond lashes out at his small council. He commands Sir Criston Cole to march on the Riverlands, promising to join him when the time is right. Tired of the burden of ruling over a starving city, he also tasks the Lord Lannister's brother Kevan with extending an offer of alliance to the Triarchy in order to get their maritime aid in breaking the naval embargo on King's Landing by the Valyrian fleet. One difference worthy of quick note between the show and books is that it is Otto that extends the alliance to the Triarchy, not Aemond. But beyond this, questions persists. Who are the Triarchy? We know they bedeviled Daemon and Corlys in the Stepstones in Season 1 of the show, but we are yet left with questions as to their purposes. What exactly comprises the Triarchy, and what links do they have to the Valyrian Freehold, the same dragonborn empire that the Targaryens and the Velaryons hail from? What is the cause of their deadly rivalry with Corlys and Daemon, as well as the bedevilment of the Westerosi shipping lanes? Now, we shall take a look at those questions today, but beware, here be spoilers. Lys was established by Valyrian dragon lords who were attracted to the island's beauty and ideal climate. The city's lineage traces back to Valyrian nobility who made it a paradise retreat, known for its pleasure houses and luxuries. Even after the doom of Valyria, Lys retained its Valyrian cultural and genetic heritage, including the tradition of slavery and the use of Valyrian-derived magic and knowledge. Tyrosh began as a military outpost of the Valyrian Freehold, strategically located on the eastern end of the Stepstones. The city served as a naval base and a point of expansion for the Valyrian Empire. After the Doom, Tyrosh became an independent city-state, maintaining its Valyrian architecture, particularly with its fused black stone walls, and continued the Valyrian legacy through its aggressive expansionist policies. Myr was also established by Valyrian settlers, particularly those skilled in arts and crafts. It became a center for artisans, especially known for its fine textiles and glassworks. The Valyrian influence in Myr persisted even after the fall of Valyria, with the city becoming known for its skilled crossbowmen and artisans. Like the other free cities, Myr retained elements of Valyrian culture, including its use of slaves and advanced knowledge in various crafts. As the Kingdom of the Three Daughters was a formidable alliance formed in the aftermath of the fall of Old Valyria. Comprising the free cities of Lys, Myr, and Tyrosh, the Triarchy was established to counteract the rising power of Volantis and its ambitions to dominate the remnants of the Valyrian Freehold. In 96 AC, Tyrosh, Lys, and Myr ended their warfare between each other and drove Volantis from the disputed lands, defeating the Volantene in the Battle of the Borderland and forging the eternal alliance of the Triarchy. The Myrish Prince Admiral Kragas Drahar then spearheaded a naval assault on the Stepstones, cleaning out the pirate dens of the islands and securing the trade lanes of the Narrow Sea. The Seven Kingdoms were at first pleased of the Triarchy's actions, but Kragas and his co-admirals became increasingly greedier with their tolls, seeing a chance to reap great profits for their efforts. The Lyseni captured and enslaved women, girls, and comely boys to bring back to their pillow houses in Lys, including Lady Johanna Swan, niece to the Lord of Stonehelm. United by now by mutual interests and a shared desire for economic and military strength, the Triarchy sought to control the Stepstones, which ultimately are a crucial chain of islands in the Narrow Sea that were vital for trade routes and military strategy. The relatively short-lived union of Lys, Myr, and Tyrosh was only loosely defined, intended to be an eternal alliance between the former rivals. It was not quite a new political entity formed from these three constituents, but all three acting in unison. This alliance was governed by the High Council of the Triarchy, a group of 33 magisters with 11 from each city. This triple alliance was known by several names, all of which were actually inaccurate. Its official name was simply the Triarchy, but this was inaccurate for two reasons. Volantis was already famously ruled by three triarchs, so the union of the three cities was not the only triarchy in the world, and in truth, no officials in this alliance held the title of Triarch, like in Volantis. Westerosi took to calling it the Kingdom of the Three Daughters, referring to the fact that the three Valyrian colony cities were all considered to be daughters of Valyria. Yet this was also a misnomer, for they had no king. By securing these islands in the Stepstones, the Triarchy not only increased their wealth through tolls and tariffs, but also enhanced their strategic position in the Narrow Sea. This control over the Stepstones allowed them to dominate the trade routes between Westeros and Essos, making them a significant power in the region. The growing influence of the Triarchy soon brought them into conflict with Corlys Velaryon, the legendary sea snake, who was one of the wealthiest and most powerful men in Westeros. Corlys, serving House Velaryon and later House Targaryen, saw the control of the Stepstones as a direct threat to his interests. In response, he embarked on a series of naval campaigns to challenge the Triarchy's dominance. These clashes were marked by fierce naval battles and strategic maneuvers, with both sides experiencing victories and setbacks. Corlys's defiance highlighted the fragility of the Triarchy's control over the Stepstones and their need to maintain a strong military presence in the region. The tensions between the Triarchy and Westeros escalated further with the involvement of Daemon Targaryen, the rogue prince. Ambitious and seeking to carve out a kingdom of his own, Daemon allied with Corlys Velaryon to launch a full-scale assault on the Stepstones. Riding his dragon Caraxes, Daemon unleashed devastation upon the Triarchy's forces, leading to a series of bloody confrontations. His bold tactics and fierce determination eventually led to the capture of several key islands, significantly weakening the Triarchy's hold on the Stepstones. Daemon's victories bolstered his reputation and solidified his alliance with Corlys, posing a formidable challenge to the Triarchy's ambitions. The Triarchy's struggles were far from over, as the Dance of the Dragons erupted within the Targaryen dynasty. As the civil war between Rhaenyra Targaryen's Black faction and Aegon II's Green faction raged, the Triarchy saw an opportunity to assert their power once more. Aligning themselves with the Greens, they sought to capitalize on the chaos and expand their influence. This decision led to a significant naval engagement with the fleet of Rhaenyra's Black faction at Battle of Gullet, the Black forces being commanded by her son, Jacaerys Velaryon. The battle was fierce and costly, with both sides suffering heavy losses. One of the most tragic and pivotal moments in the Triarchy's battle with Rhaenyra's forces was the death of Jacaerys Velaryon. As the young prince led his fleet against the Triarchy, he displayed remarkable bravery and tactical acumen. However, in a fierce battle at sea, Jacaerys was ultimately slain, dealing a significant blow to Rhaenyra's cause. His death marked a turning point in the Dance of the Dragons, underscoring the high stakes and immense losses suffered by both sides. The Triarchy's involvement in his demise cemented their role as a formidable adversary, even as their long-term ambitions in the region faced continued challenges from both Westerosi forces and internal strife within their own ranks. The Triarchy began fracture in 130 AC, and the following year, Sir Marston Waters reported that it had collapsed. Shirako Lohar was killed by a rival for the affections of the Black Swan, Johanna Swan, but at the time, Tyrosh suspected it was an assassination arranged by Mia. A series of retaliatory murders followed, and the Daughters' War broke out 2 years after the Gullet. A rival alliance formed between Pentos, Braavos, and the normally isolationist Lorath, which helped bring an end to the naval ambitions of the Triarchy. But at this point, their alliance had done enough to leave its mark on Westeros and secure a place in infamy in the memory of House Targaryen.